that I had the tankard made. This shirt was chosen specifically to commemorate not only the 100th episode, but literally the only place inside of Cauldron
the fuck up.
that
still lets us in.
That still lets them in. It's literally the only place they have friends at this point.
I would like to say that that's a large part in due to Sakata's very, very good financing at the very beginning before he died.
I mean, it's more than that. Like, you guys, you were good to his sons. You found out what happened to his wife. You saved the establishment.
Find the wife.
You guys have done a lot. You have done a lot, my friends.
I personally...
Not all of it good, but we've done a lot.
As someone who loves the tip tankard, I cannot wait.
The tankard, I'm going to try to make this available Friday. So the shirt is going to be available on Friday if I can make it so. And it's something that I'm trying to work with Acme Prints to make it so. And if not, then it's for certain going to Teespring. I want to get my hands on Designed by Humans, but I don't have an account made for that just yet. But by Friday, this thing will be live. And I'll make sure, Fody, I promise I'll PM you. I'll let you know about it. And you guys will have until the end of the month. To get your shirts. It's not going to be super expensive. I'm not looking to make bank here, guys. I just want to I want to get as many shirts sold as possible because, well, I mean, it's like 100 episodes, man, and it's to date my longest running show. So if you guys want to be reminded about it, I think it's going to run up to 5x. I think it's going to run up to 5x, and I will...
Oh boy, I can't wait to order my 6x. Hell yeah.
Shut up, you fucking micro nerd. Get out of here. You're just tall and lanky. Get out. But I'll make sure to let everybody know. Ormus, I'll probably PM you, Fody as well, but I'll let you guys know for sure when I have those up and moving, because my goal is to get, like, 40 of them sold. If I can get 40 sold...
If you could hold off for, like, the next week so I could go set up some appointments at my hole, that'd be I'd at least be able to pay for it.
Appointments at your hole?
Yeah, that's actually how it gets paid.
It's down by the turnpike. Yeah,
it's a glory hole.
Look, I meet a lot of people, truckers mostly, but they're well traveled.
He's taking advantage of his lack of facial hair.
Guys, where I come from.
Yeah, look, all they see is from the bottom down, so they don't even know. They enjoy it. I enjoy it. Money. It works. It works.
I am so disappointed in you, Red.
Sniper,
I'm amused, but I'm so disappointed.
This is the alternate timeline, Sniper.
I'm gonna let you guys keep going. I'll be right back. The ladies need me. I'll be right back. So hang tough. Just keep going. Keep recapping.
Yeah.
So at this point, from, Red, they call you truck stop bunnies.
So at this point, this is where Klaus is encountering the ice giant that is eventually going to kill him. And what did we end up figuring out was going to happen with that, Klaus? What
he came to tell me, hey, I'm here to kill you because you wronged our people, but I'm nice enough that I'll give you, 10 or 14 days notice.
14. I think it was 10 days.
No, you guys 10 days, 14 days. I don't remember. Yeah, 2 weeks. 14 days. So he's like, I'm going to give you 14 days notice. In 2 weeks, I'll come back.
Find me something better.
No. He didn't say that time.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2 weeks. He was like, in 2 weeks, I'll come and I'll kill you. So prepared for that.
FYI, I don't want to fight you right now because you guys are all in danger, and that wouldn't be...
Yeah, he's like, I want a fair fight, even though I'm an assassin. I got portals.
In about 14 days,
yeah,
you're going to be kissing that floor.
Yeah, so...
I want to give you a chance. I'm just letting you know I'm in town.
Here's my card. Call me if you want a little earlier.
And now I'm remembering now a little better. This is when we end up returning to the tip tankard, and this is when the backpack blows up, because at the time I had a fetish for gold.
Or like the next day, something like that.
It was that evening.
I don't think it was that evening. I think it was during the day.
That evening was the evening of the Wild Magic Dungeons and Dragons trigger.
Yes. Yeah, that was that whole thing.
That's when all kinds of shit went down.
Horam was blighted by chat to be constantly scared if he heard the word Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, this was a great
that was the word you would scream every time you started.
No. I'm trying to remember.
Explain what happened.
Xander, who was your character at the time? The bard.
It was the bard.
Desmond.
And
Desmond had wild magic, and
which
he had it cast on him that he was spook easily every time he heard Dungeons and Dragons.
And
Horam, poor old Innie, that was his. And whenever he was surprised, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
so
and that literally was like 30 minutes of that back and forth.
Chat got to choose what it was that scared me and what I would exclaim. And
it was
what scared me was magic, and what I would exclaim was Dungeons and Dragons. And so it ended up being a paradox cycle that just kept happening and happening.
I remember this distinctly because Desmond was wearing a mithril chainmail shirt that was sized to him, and it ended up doing a swap where where Jerrod, who stands about 6'2", 250, 260 pounds, just like built like a brick shit house, is all of a sudden in an extra small mithril shirt.
That's right.
Heroes ended up getting called. Butterflies filled the tavern.
It was Caitlin and Sasha who came, right?
Yeah.
A backpack of holding turned into
Innie's plate armor turned into sand, if I remember correctly.
It got turned into dust, so I was a naked paladin.
The room was filled with butterflies.
Isn't this also the time we met? What's his name? Orist Faquin.
Yeah,
Dan's new character.
And also,
we met him in the same night.
During that butterfly explosion, I also got turned into a spectral being.
Yeah, so he was naked and invisible, while Sniper had his armor changed and was choking to death, as a hero was summoned by Ronald as she kicked in the door and started prying off the armor off Sniper. So he was like, tighter.
It was a weird time.
Wasn't I also teleported to another?
You were teleported.
You were teleported
to a whorehouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no, an orc whorehouse. I think
it was a goblin whorehouse.
Goblin whorehouse. And I think I ended up having to kill Sakata because he turned into a wereshark.
Rasasi.
Rasasi. Yes, yep. Rasasi ended up getting killed. And Jerrod
so you killed me.
The final blow.
So wait, how much further are we going down to where you guys
at the same time,
in,
he turned and ended up getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Which is when we went ahead and had the druid come into town and was just like, hey, by the way, this is what you got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can wear this charm to keep you from turning
this
into a wereshark for a while.
And then after that, we got the next banner boon.
Yes, because at that time...
Klaus got to handle this one.
Yeah,
go ahead and tell them how that
I think we were summoned to the Church of Sarin Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were trying to...
Yeah, Jenya had a message for us.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the mission was, because she wanted us to go ahead and find...
Rufus.
Desmond ran away at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, and there was something else going on.
I don't remember what else she wanted us to do at that point. I think she just called us in because she was
This was right before we had to go see Jerrod. Crazy Jerrod.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So, at the Church of Sarin Ray, I'm trying to remember her name.
Yeah.
Jenya?
Jenya ends up giving us the relic of the Church of Sarin Ray to assist us. The, oh God, I'm trying to remember. It was the Morning Star of something.
Damn it.
David.
No. It was... Fuck, I don't remember. It was Star of something.
David, goddamn it.
Star of Cuthbert or something?
No, it wasn't that.
Yeah, wasn't it? What's
the star of seeing into shit, because you can see into the future.
Yeah.
It was a relic that... It wasn't seeing into the future so much as it would answer a question that you presented to it once a week. So she handed it off to us because Sarin Ray basically came to her in a dream and told her, "Hey, give the Flurry this thing because
that's always
I feel bad about killing one of them.
They'll know what to do with this."
Yeah. So I was walking back to the tanker because I think I either went alone or maybe Horam went with me.
I went with you.
Yeah, Horam went with me, but he stayed to check on his demon child, I believe.
Yep, I went to go see my baby.
We step outside, and all of a sudden, the morning star starts glowing, and it actually dissipates and turns into this light.
Well, the head of... Because the morning star, obviously it's like a mace. Oh. The head of it basically dissolves, and it's just the pure magical energy, or pure divine energy, really, that resided in the artifact to make it an artifact in the first place. And Saren Ray basically appears to me and only to me in a sort of vision and says, hey, I feel bad about killing you from before, so maybe go res one of your friends?
Do you have a wish? We could... Any wish?
It wasn't a wish. It was...
No, it wasn't a wish. No, it was just all of a sudden...
Use this to resurrect one of your fallen comrades. Yeah. And then I had to make the decision of who to resurrect. Because I was basically the party that knew everyone that had come before.
And it would have been any character from the past.
Right. So I decided the only person out of this party that's been a really good friend to me, but is also dead now, is Sakata. So he should probably make a return, right?
I woke up in the middle of the streets wearing a robe.
No, I think you were still buck naked.
I think I had just
rags on. Yeah.
It was literally just like a light robe just covering me so I didn't walk out with my junk out. I was going commando underneath, but I had the robe over and it was hooded up. So I was just walking through town and I just kind of came to oh, I'm home? Okay.
And it's at this point we go back to the tavern, and that's when Dan comes in with his druid.
Yes.
What was it?
When Orist was... That's when he was cursed by chat for the first time to be a monk who could neither... He could only speak in whispers or he could yell, and he thought that he was tough, big shit.
Yeah, he thought he was famous.
Everyone had heard him.
Everyone knew who he was, though they didn't.
In his hometown, he was regarded as
a town of 300 people, maybe.
It was a tribe of 10 or 15. He said it was small.
I'm the most famous person there is. You've heard of me, right?
Yeah, and he had to yell this at people, and no one knew who he was.
Right, which really pissed Dan off because he's like, "Oh, I'm going to play this really Pentecostal monk type,"
and then immediately throw it out the window.
Yeah, but anyways, that prompted us to go ahead and go to the party. We were actually summoned. We were actually summoned in the tankard at that point to meet up with the nobleman. Oh God, I'm trying to remember that one.
The Cusp of Sunrise.
Cusp of Sunrise.
That's where we were. You guys were given the invitations to.
Okay, Bub, what the hell is so funny, man?
He's laughing at Fody saying that's like trying to cut down a mountain by shooting marshmallows down with a slingshot.
He's talking about the bit boss.
Yeah.
He's like, never before have I gone into a stream and donated 5,000 bits and it's not even put a fucking dent in the boss. Oh, fuck. I just pictured the slingshot and the march. Yeah, it got me. I'm sorry. Keep going.
How dare you interrupt us? We're finally getting some traction here.
So I had met up with you guys because I had just kind of this hey, this is where they'll be. I should go say hi kind of feeling in my body.
Well, not only that, you were back. You wanted to go out and...
Well, it was I had to draw to you guys. I was just kind of being pulled on like a rope. Come on, you're gonna go this way. It's okay,
right.
I'm gonna go here.
We received the invitation.
Yeah.
We're going out to go ahead and get our clothes. We're gonna get all duded up and get fitted, and that's when we step out. And I believe an Umber Hulk is summoned.
Yes. The Umber Hulk was
or the Bandersnatch.
I think we skipped the Bandersnatch. I think we missed that part.
Yeah, the Bandersnatch
not important anyway.
Yeah,
it was pretty important. It was pretty important if for no other reason than the way we killed it because it was almost killing all of us, was I called in the favor from Embarda, and it's literally took this Bandersnatch, which is like the size of a small house, and folded it in half backwards.
I personally like the part where you threw a porta potty at it. I think that was the real highlight of the fight, if we're going to be honest.
That was a wild magic
event.
event.
The Bandersnatch now.
The Umber
Hulk. But no, after we get fitted, we run into an Umber Hulk. An Umber Hulk is summoned in the middle of the city, and it actually kills a citizen. This is Sakata's first time going ahead and getting back into business. This is our first time fighting with Farquaad. Farquaad, whatever. And kind of everything goes wrong. We end up defeating it at the cost of some public damage, but a citizen dies. And this is the daughter of one of the richest non-nobles in the city.
Mabu.
And what does Sakata do?
I'm wondering how much gold we get for slaying this thing. And talking about what the guard shall do. And basically, my general...
He was negotiating his payment for the job we just did.
While pretty much standing right over the dead body.
We were literally standing on either side of the dead body of Mabu's daughter, and Sakata was like, hey, so you gonna pay me soon? I was like, dude, like, now's not really the time.
And as that happened, he walked up, hugging his daughter's corpse, crying, "You're a monster!" And it's like, I mean, I guess you're right.
And I was very upset with you.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, that's my job description.
Except it's not your job description to be completely and utterly heartless to a man who just lost his daughter.
And that's when we found out that after being dead for a while, Sakata lost the concept
I kind of became a little bit colder to the world.
Oh, you mean you became Theodwin?
God damn it, Ronald.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. You did adapt that kind of dickheadedness.
It was probably from the arrow that hit my heart.
But having said that, between the
took his moral compass out, forgot what shows
and between the Bandersnatch and the Umber Hulk, we caught the attention of the nobles. That's when we went ahead and received the invitation, got fitted, got all duded up, and when we went there, Sakata actually did go ahead and, well, I think he made a deal for some favors.
Oh, so what happened is we were in the forest on the way there.
No. We're back at the nobles.
Oh, yeah, the cusp.
Yeah, the
I
cusp
wanted
of sunrise.
to gamble because I like money. Money is good.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. So I went up to Lord Valentru. It was like, hey, you seem like a man who's well off. Would you like to endorse my gambling habits? And he said, well, why should I? And I said, well, I am a sellsword. If you need a sellsword, the next job's on me. And he gave me 4 platinum. And I basically sat down to watch them play and then got taken away from actually playing immediately following.
Right, because it turns out that Jerrod at the time had a real thing for, like, tweaking butts.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of things going on. It was more than just butts.
He started playing
he had a lust for doorknobs.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, still holds a lust for doors. An addiction to potions. And yeah, for some odd reason, he wanted to go ahead and, like, tweak this one waitress's ass. And it turns out this giant gorilla, like, subhuman, half-giant doorman comes over. And it turns out that at that point, we're rescued by the person who invited us in the first place. I can't remember the name of the dwarf. Somebody please step in.
I can't.
You're talking about the dwarf that gave you the job.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Davkid Splinter Shield.
That's correct, Davkid.
Right. Davkid ended up summoning a flurry of bros.
I had an encounter before I was pulled away by Davkid. And it was with a man named Unkid Taskerhill, if I'm not mistaken, who was the father of the leader girl of the Stormcloaks. Her name was Anna. And So I got talking, and they knew who we were, the Flurry, and they claimed that the Stormcloaks were better than the Flurry, but that we were rivals in the area. And he's like, "You're not wearing a very nice suit, though, so here's 100 plat. Go buy yourself a better suit and come back next time." And that was my entire conversation. And then I walked away, and then we went upstairs.
That's right. But yes, we were actually pulled aside to go ahead and speak with Davkid Splintershield, who had a mission for us. He was growing old in age, and he was actually...
He had lost his wife.
Yeah.
His wife cursed him on her deathbed for never repairing
his relationship with his kid.
With his sons, actually. It was multiple sons. 2 or 3, I don't remember which.
I believe he made up with the other ones.
Yeah, he made up with his other sons.
He couldn't, because this one happens to be chilling in the Underdark. Kind of a dangerous place.
Yes,
I mean,
one Zenith Splintershield, who had
not a place for a family trip.
Yeah, who had actually gone on an expedition to take back the Underdark.
On a crusade, let's...
Yeah, it was a crusade.
He was going to battle a Kuatoa invasion, if I recall.
But something happened, and he hasn't came back. So, well,
at that point,
we were to go find him.
Yes.
Or his corpse, either or.
Because he needed his son's forgiveness. And
but he was convinced that he wasn't dead.
Yes, they were thoroughly convinced.
He actually spoke with an oracle.
Yes.
A paladin and an oracle.
Yeah.
He found the oracle, said that Zenith was in Balhamatugan.
Yes, correct. In the Underdark, a place called Balhamatugan.
Bless you.
Or something.
Excuse me. So, inevitably, this led you guys to meet a particular individual by the name of Crazy Jerrod.
Before that, though...
Jerrod.
Before that, on the way there...
But, yes, so we collect ourselves, we take to the forest, and on our first night camping...
I was keeping watch for everyone, and I heard music, so I was like, hey, this sounds like something I should go check out. So I walked out to the forest, just enjoy myself. And this carnival music gets louder as a goblin was... It was a goblin whipping a ogre? No, a troll.
It was a no, it was an ogre. Full-on ogre.
Okay. Yeah, this giant ogre carrying a cart, and this little goblin sitting on top whipping it like, yeah! And I was like, hey, he stopped. And out pops a god known as Papa Legba, which I cannot do justice to describe. Only Bub could, for like the accent. I
mean, as far as descriptions go, he was he
was tall.
Picture Cajun Creole, probably about 6.5, 7 feet tall, very skinny, very lanky. He had a cane, black cane with a white skull on the end of it. He had a top hat with various feathers. Oh my goodness, let me see. It's like picture Baron Samdi. I think that's.
Yeah, it's Samdi. Yeah.
He was basically based off of that.
He popped out and he was like, "Hey boy, do you want to play?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. That sounds fun. What do you wanna play for money?" He's like, "Sure." So I was going to use the money that I had gotten from Lord Valentru, and we played a game of Liar's Dice, which got really close. It was one round. Almost beat him until I didn't beat him, because I know out of game, Bub's a cheater.
I'm not.
If you ever play Liar's Dice with Bub, he cheats extensively.
I don't. I'm just good at the game.
Oh, it couldn't possibly be that you just suck at the game.
No, it's not even that I'm bad at the game. It's that Bub's fucking unnaturally good at it.
Red's bad at gambling, is what it boils down to.
Basically, Bub's the kind of person who counts cards at blackjack.
That is totally inaccurate. But I'm flattered that you would say that.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
Either way, he was a good sport about it, and I gave him my money. I was like, okay, I will see you on the way. If I see you in Cauldron, because everyone comes to Cauldron, we should play again. And he's like, oh, okay, that is good. would you like to make another deal? And I was like,
Doesn't
okay.
own a 7-Eleven.
It's definitely not Apu. As you trade off your soul, he's like, thank you, come again.
Aw.
Do you want to make another deal? We can make you a millionaire.
Stop
He asked
drinking
me-
the
he asked me-
juice.
He asked me for whatever I want, and I think, man, what do I want? Most of my party's fucked, and we have a paladin whose god hates him. And I asked him, I was like, "Did you get my paladin's powers back?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I got you." We did like a little, and
Yeah, all it's going to cost you is the bottom of your boots.
yeah, he took the soles of my shoe. Like I took off my boot, I handed it to him. He just, took it off, put it back on, and then I walked back over, and Horam had his paladin powers back. Just like that. No other bad consequences.
He just walked over and he was like, "Hey, how are you feeling?" I'm like,
Holy.
the same.
I'm
I don't
feeling
know.
like I'm feeling that power,
Oh,
like that
yeah.
power of prayer.
Look
Oh
at me
Lord!
go. Feel it in your bones.
But in actuality, he took my soul.
Yeah.
And he had his paladin powers, and Papa Legba acknowledges me as a friend, or at the very least a gambling friend, or a foolish mortal who he can trick into doing shit. I'm okay with either.
Yeah, he said he would be willing to barter with you, be willing to
Yeah.
trade, but he wanted the bottom of your boots, boy.
Yeah. So I, like I said, I gave it to him, gave him my soul.
Well, he used different terminology.
He wanted the sole of my shoe. I said, sure, that's fine.
He said the bottom of your
I
bones.
want your soul.
Yeah.
And of course, Sakata
I-
is
like I said,
like, "Hey, I'm just walking on my boots." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need a soul. Shit.
I don't use my
It ain't
shoes.
nothing but a thing. This thing's never got me anywhere.
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
And then as I came back, I went back to sleep, woke up, and everyone
Bub,
was
I
back
don't
to normal.
think I'm ever going to be able to hear the DuckTales theme song again. Thank you for that.
I mean, everybody poops, all right? So what if I sing it while I'm pooping, okay?
And if you don't, you're an android.
There's something about the woohoo that loosens it all up.
Actually, like, if you want to make it a smooth event, just find a way to sneeze the moment you sit down.
That sounds like good, but
I'm
smooth.
just thinking of the jet propulsion.
Don't do it.
Not only do you get it all done in an instant,
You're-
you get an instant bidet too.
It's
From-
like as you sit down,
You're really
swing
firing on all
upwards.
cylinders there.
From
also fire
from
upwards.
experience, the moment you sit down, like I've been going to sit down and sneezed as my ass touched the toilet seat, and like my stomach was hurting before, and like the moment I sneezed, I was like, I'm done already. I'm just done. Wow, this is like I was
I would not
Leslie,
recommend.
Leslie, I'm done already. She's like, what?
I would not recommend this on those liquidy kind of days.
Yeah, I mean, this is like we're talking like Taco Bell, Wendy's diet.
Yeah, we're talking solid.
If you're on a liquid
Like-
diet, don't. Just fucking don't. Just don't, man.
Recapping for like 3 hours, and somehow we found a way to get on the topic of sneezing while shitting.
Hey, it's a good momentary break. We can relapse into this, back into the game.
I'm just amazed. We were in brass tacks of this fucking D&D campaign that's been going on for 100 sessions.
100 fucking episodes, right?
and we still end up on shit bidet.
It's a really good, like, anecdote for just the entire campaign. Like,
Jesus Christ, Sniper!
if you want to know what we're like, this is it.
Oh wow, that guy. Oh,
Oh, not that gif.
The more you know. Dun dun dun.
wow.
Oh no.
Oh, my throat's hurting.
A whole new level to shitpost. That's right. Good God. Oh, thank you for that. I was not prepared. Okay, all right. So, DevKid, Crazy Jerrod, you went to find the son of DevKid's Splinter Shield, and it inevitably took you into a place called Balhamatugan. You met Crazy Jerrod. Jerrod was, in fact, as crazy as you might think he might be.
But
So
not
maybe
only
he
that,
kept us
he
up all
also had a friendly dragon.
Wasn't very friendly, but it was a dragon.
But you can yell at the dragon.
Why was he being attacked by a dragon?
Because he's kind of a dick. He doesn't shut up. He's a really bad neighbor. He's the kind of dude who, like, bumps EDM at, like, 1 o'clock in the morning with the volume set to 53. Like, he's just not a good neighbor.
Yeah, okay, alright, so this dragon just chills with a crazy man as his neighbor. I don't feel like that's accurate, but, you know,
The
I could be wrong.
actually attacking his castle.
Yeah.
Castles in air quotations, if you couldn't see them when I didn't put them up.
Alright, okay, that's fair. So, inevitably, after taking the word of Crazy Jerrod, you found your way into the Pit of Seven Jaws. If that's not a foreboding name, I don't fucking know what is.
Basically, we fought a 5-headed Hydra.
Frost Hydra at that. Cryo Hydra.
I could be wrong, but it was actually a 7-headed Hydra?
See, I don't think you know what? Maybe 6 heads.
You know, the strangest
I
thing,
think
I'm
they
looking at the
called it-
picture, and there's literally 7 heads on this fucking Hydra!
I think they called it the Pit of Seven Jaws because it was a 4-headed Hydra, if
I
I'm
think
not
so,
mistaken.
too.
I
It's kinda
always thought it
It's
was
kind of like the
because-
Greenland Iceland thing.
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah.
just because it was like the most popular glory hole around.
That's also true.
There's
No,
always at least 7 people in there.
no, that's actually a glory hole in Boca near Austin's house.
Oh, heyo.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, following the Pit of Seven Jaws, you guys discovered that there was a little baby toy cryo hydra. Little baby
Yeah,
cryo
it
hydra.
was.
Well,
The
after
baby.
killing the big cryohydra,
Yeah.
we found Jerrod found the baby cryohydra, and it was like,
Yeah, and then you let it walk off the edge.
no, I saved it because it was cute, it was adorable, it was just.
I remember
just
cracking its neck as it fell.
No, that was its mom. I fucking killed the shit out of that. I killed your mom, but you're cute. I'm gonna rescue you.
So cute that he's not willing.
I'm gonna
to let
call
it go
you
to
Ice
look for
Cube.
souls.
It was a good day.
He was like, all my friends are gonna die, but this new dragon I just found, I want to keep it, so I'm
Yeah.
not giving it up.
Fuck all of you guys and your stupid soul things. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you guys saved me several times, but fuck you guys. That's how that went down, and we were a little upset with him for a while.
Well, yeah, they were upset, but then they remembered I'm Jerrod and I could probably kill them all.
False.
So I ended up keeping the baby Hydra, and we ended up going deeper into this cavern, trying to find.
And we found the frog version of Aaron's
trying to find Balhamatugan.
Yeah.
And we found this underground waterway where, well, there was a guy with a boat, and
He was a frog.
can't.
Kind of like Sharon, but frog-like.
He was a ferryman.
Yeah,
Um,
a baka.
He wanted us to pay him to get us, across the river, and we were like, okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
so we ended up
So we
paying
gave him
him,
some
and
gold.
he gets us halfway out there, and
And
then, like
it's-
the shyster he is, he raises his price again.
Yeah, he goes, okay, and now that I've brought you halfway, now you pay me again. And he said, I will not, however, this time take gold because you guys, I have gold now. I don't need your gold. So we were all of, the rest of us, besides Jerrod, were saying, oh, well, that's easy. Let's give him the Hydra. This small creature that we had just met, that, he could have, that has no impact on our
In
party.
other words, Bub threw this in to take away my Hydra. I would
Actually,
swear
that's not the case. He threw the Hydra in to pay off the Frost Giants, but we decided to,
I
throw
still
the baby Hydra in.
Jerrod still wants to find Ice Cube.
We should point this out. We couldn't pay him gold, so the next best thing is obviously souls. Well, we can't give him snipers because he's already a shark technically. So the sea mother
I'm already charmed. I already have the gift of the sea mother.
Yeah. We couldn't give it to any because Saren Ray's already all up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't do Sakata because he gave his away.
I don't really. I didn't have one anymore.
Yeah, and Klaus was just like, no.
Yeah, no. I need this to move bodies again. Because I'm not in my body.
Yep.
So after at least what was it, 2 hours of debating and yelling at
No,
something
it wasn't
like
2
that.
hours. It was more like half an hour to 45 minutes.
It wasn't quite 2 hours. Thank God.
It was a long period of time.
Of him threatening to kick us off the boat for
Yeah.
even insisting that we so much as give up his pet. We finally got him to succumb to our group pressure, and we gave him to Frog Boy. And
Now, I
Frog
do
Boy
want
was
to
like,
point
okay.
out, the only reason Jerrod gave up the Hydra is because he was going to kill the crap out of Ibaka on the way out. Which didn't happen. He's still salty about that. But anyways, no, we end up getting to ball.
He probably ate
Amatugan.
your Hydra, by the way. Just
Don't you put
Just-
that curse on me, Ricky Bobby.
Things went
just
went a
saying,
little
tastes like
weird. Just getting past that particular spot in the game, things took a serious belly up turn for Jerrod.
Yeah, you could say that.
Maybe.
Not yeah. Well, okay. Let's discuss
do we-
that particular moment.
Now, come on. We went ahead and skipped over the Bandersnatch. We can certainly skip over this,
No.
right?
We didn't skip over the Bandersnatch. You forced us to touch on it. Therefore, we are definitely touching on this one.
While they talk about sticking their hands in objects, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, go for it.
Shut up, Austin. You fucker.
At some point, you guys may have heard or missed, I don't recall, I did step away for about 3 or 4 minutes, that Horam has successfully managed to sew a ball sack back together. He's managed to sew an ass cheek back together.
I think both were mine.
I
Wait,
think
no.
that's-
No, the ass was mine.
Yeah.
Whose testicles was it?
I think it was one of Dan's characters, I think.
I think it was Theodwin.
I think it was Theodwin, yeah. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Man,
Yeah.
thinking about how long Horam's been around.
He's been around for a long
He's
time.
been around a fucking while.
Yeah, he finally broke the trend, man. Finally broke the trend.
Yeah, he finally found one that's.
I'm gonna laugh if the next character does the same route that Jaspis did. Like he goes off of this 60, 70 long streak of Horam.
Yeah.
And then its next character is immediately the same thing. You walk into the room, he grabs you and throws you out of the window.
All right. So, anyways,
yeah.
moving on, we end up getting to Balthar,
Yes.
and we step up and we find in this lit area 2 statues, one of
Correct.
which has an orb upon its head. And
Yeah.
I'm apparently the only one that notices this orb, so I'm like, oh.
You were not
man.
the only one that noticed it. You're
You
the only
did
one that
touch-
chose to examine it with your fingers.
There was a perception check, and I believe I aced it, where everyone else rolled crap. So
It wasn't
because-
particularly hard to see. It's that you were the only person to really take notice of the fact that it wasn't just a crude drawing, but it was actually the depiction of a dwarf on the orb. And you could tell that it was separate from the statue, and you were like, well, that's kind of fucky. Let's figure out what that's about.
So of course, being the investigative genius that I am, I Sherlock Holmes this and was like, well, let's go ahead and lift this orb and examine it a little further. And on looking at the bottom, I noticed, well, there's a crevice, there's a crack. And thinking, well, this might be something someone would hide something in, like, say, a key for this giant door we were standing in front of.
Just stick your
And
hand
tell us how that ended.
Just stick your hand in it. Nothing can go wrong.
Jared just, reached in there. And of
And that
course...
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, there were apparently some kind of barbs inside, and it was like, okay, something's got to be in here now. This thing is like semi-trapped, but I'm a fighter. I got high constitution. I got these big old gloves.
So instead
Nothing
of
bad can happen. So I ram my fist.
fist.
I ram my
Further,
fist
yeah.
into this orb.
So you fisted aggressively just to make sure you're really stuck in there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it? Oh, it wasn't an orb at all. No, it was a mimic.
Oh, that's weird. That is. What did you do, however, to take this mimic off
Oh
your head?
yeah. Please tell us. I would love to
What?
know how you got out of the sticky situation.
So yeah, this mimic is kind of like gnawing on my hand, but I'm like, okay, it's not that bad yet. I decide I step out because, of course, at this time, everyone wants to just cut my hand off or burn it off with fire. I'm like, guys, no, think natural, think nature. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to dip it in the water, and when it needs to breathe, it'll, of course, come off. That didn't happen.
No. What did happen?
Well, here's the thing. It turns out that mimics have tentacles
I mean,
Oh.
amidst other things, yeah.
Yeah.
and teeth. So it decided that since it didn't like the water or being drowned, it was going to use both on my face.
Indeed.
So at this point, I'm like this, with the mimic wrapped around my head and my fist. I'm blind.
You failed to mention, I offered to burn this thing off of your hand.
Yeah.
No,
Or- yeah, or
I
you-
mentioned that between, you mentioned to burn it off, and I'm like, no, that's going to hurt.
Mhm.
I
I offered to help.
less,
I
however.
offered to help him with this issue that he was having. Then this happened.
But then we have to remember we have Bub for a GM, and I would have a stump by the time you were done.
Look, it cauterizes the wound. You'd be fine.
So at this point, I fall down the stairs and I fall in the lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could
would-
happen to anybody. I mean,
Oh yeah, no,
Well,
anyone.
It's
how
a
many
really good
stories
thing.
are there about adventurers out there accidentally fisting a mimic?
Well, see, that's the good thing. This
Yeah.
lake was really clean. It had nothing in it, and
Crystal clear. You could just see straight to the bottom.
yeah, and you basically got out and you were fine.
It
right?
was like a Caribbean sea
Oh
down
my
there.
god.
No,
No, but
reason to panic.
realistically,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you lit a match and dropped it on the water, it would the entire thing would light up, and you couldn't see like an inch into the water. It was completely and totally dirty and filled with things that you didn't want to deal with.
So at this
Which is
point,
why we
here's
had to-
our fighter with a mimic wrapped around his head and his fist.
And who again dove in to save you from this watery grave?
Yeah,
So- No. Klaus went ahead and stepped up, and he was like, I'm going to rescue him. Horam and Sakata, they're like, shit, sucks
No.
to be him.
Horam wears plate armor. I don't fuck with
They
water.
stand on the side, and they're just like,
Nah,
sorry, bro.
we were playing Goldfish while we were waiting.
And there's Klaus, diving in headfirst like a real mensch. But of course, Jerrod, here he is down underwater, and, he knows his party. He knows nobody's going to save him. So he's trying to rip this off. He's trying to bite and chew and punch through, and he ends up I think he ended up clocking Klaus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You struggled hard.
The struggle was real.
No shit.
But eventually they do get Jerrod up. He ends up tearing this thing off, and funnily enough, aces his swim check back to shore,
With
where
leeches.
upon the shore, Klaus lets off a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And he just full on come.
Into the water because we were being swarmed by leeches and
And we're fairly certain at that point that he blew up. We're pretty sure he blew up a baka.
there was an explosion. There was wood flying.
There was a scream. By the way, I'm going to be really pissed if it turns out that you did blow up my pet.
When would you have gotten it back? You guys already left the place.
Just as a side note, if I heard that
I'm
my-
just saying it's going to be
I'm
one of
gonna
those
kill you
things
again.
where if sometime down the road an oracle goes, "Oh, by the way, Jerrod, just so you know, that thing that you loved so much, he killed it."
God damn it.
That's going to be a thing. But yeah, so anyways,
Just to spite you, I kind of hope it's dead.
so
I mean, of course it's dead. What do you expect?
it's
Like I said,
it's a
Abaka just ate it.
So at this point, we managed to go ahead and get in there. We're all tired. We're all, well, one of us is semi-wounded. Well, no, me and Klaus are both up. But we managed to go ahead and find ourselves in the company of prisoners in Balthar. And yeah, at that point, I think I'm going to go ahead and let Xander take over. Because I've embarrassed myself enough for the time.
All right. So as the group heads into the prison portion of Bahamatugan, they end up finding a cell with three different cells. One with a halfling.
Yes,
Correct?
one with
a halfling, another
elf.
with a elf, and then the other with a bugbear. The halfling begins to talk to Klaus, I believe, at first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like a really back and forth.
And apparently, I'm not going to be able to get away from this because chat. So yeah, while we get out of the water and I'm covered in leeches, I tell Klaus, "Hit me, boy," and he hits me with shotgun grasp, and I kill everyone's fan favorite Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, you
Despite
killed
saving
Spider.
my life.
Yeah.
Shock
Oh,
me,
yeah.
you bastard!
Yeah.
Those were his exact words. He did actually say, "Shock me, you bastard."
Yeah.
And I was
Because-
like, well, I mean, okay, you're holding me, so...
Yeah.
And then his little spider friend died.
Yeah, he saw it fall out of his armory. He's like, oh.
Sorry, Teak. Okay, but yes. Back to the 3 cells with White Eye
Yes.
and White Eye, Jerrod, and
The newest
I
member.
can,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I can explain really quick what summarized to happen with White Eye.
Yeah, go for it.
White Eye was this little white halfling human, half elf.
no, he was a human.
He was human.
Very
Albino.
very timid, very pasty. I'd walked up to the cage. Some things happened, and he had ran up to the cage and bit my finger. As he was sitting there gnawing on my finger, peeling away at the skin and bone, I casually stared at him and basically peered into his soul and said, "Stop." He stopped, ran to the other side of the cell, terrified for his life. Promised that he would never do it again. He had been hungry. He had been down here with nothing to eat. I went back to Innie, showed him, "Hey, my flesh and bone is exposed. Can you do something about this?" And basically, by the time he pulled out his bandages, it was practically healed.
But no, by the time you got back to me, it was healed. You're like,
Oh.
"Can you heal my finger?" And then you're pointing your finger that has nothing on it to me, and I'm like, "No, I can't actually heal it." There's nothing
Make
wrong with
it better!
No, that's your emotions that need healing, not something I can help with. I'm sorry.
But essentially, the halfling and the human were going back and forth saying, "Don't trust this person. Don't trust that person."
Don't trust this one. He works for them.
And
don't trust
there's
him,
the
he works
bugbear.
for them.
Yeah,
There's the
with
bugbear
a
just kind of like
with a mind leech thing on him.
Centipede attached to his neck, controlling him as he's just in there.
So the group gets the decision to unleash all 3 of them and take them on the journey. One of which being me, the bugbear, Balthar, that gets released with them. Still not fully in control of my own memories and stuff. Horam is the one who cuts the parasite off my neck.
Yes, ma'am.
And from there, I gain some more or less motor functions, but like it takes me a day or so to get my memory stuff back. But within that time, as we walk out, we forgot to mention that Orwin Faust had turned into some like weird cardboard cutout, and he was torn in half.
He was,
We
in
never
fact.
liked that guy anyway.
He was. He was
Yeah,
fucking literally split apart.
Yeah, because
And-
Sakata made some like weird tearing motion towards him that Balthar didn't understand at the time, and he
Yeah,
tore him in half.
yeah. You tore him in half, and you looked at us like, yeah, I did it, and all of us were just like,
Oh shit!
And then you're like, yeah, oh.
and then you
That's
immediately
not what
saw the
you
look
did.
on your face, and we're like, no, you're fine. Don't get
It's
mad,
not-
Mr.
It's
Mr.
not your
Owlbear.
fault.
Fuck
Please don't rip us in half.
You didn't understand, Mr. Hawkbear.
But once we ended up getting out of the cells, we ended up making our way through the
The poop room.
through this secret passage where there was a poop room, and it ended up leading into an area where it narrowed out, and what's his face, Wide Eye ended up running away. So
Yeah,
when
he
that
ran
occurred,
ahead. Very
So-
we ended
far
up
ahead.
following after.
Well,
We ended up
I
following
think-
after him.
I think there's a lot that we can go ahead and skip over on this. I mean,
Yeah.
we were down here to go ahead and find. Zenith, and
Notable things that happened. There was the giant Cthulhu statue of
Yeah.
Glubblubblub.
Blibdool pool.
Yeah.
yeah, let's.
Blah, blah,
We
blah, blah.
found out that
Blibdool.
Innie is not. We found out that Innie is not ever to go ahead and investigate jars ever again.
Yes, because
I
he
don't know
opened
why.
up a jar and killed Klaus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and
So
and
the
no-
second time he's
Hey,
died,
you remember that running count?
there, you add one to that because now he's a turtle.
Yeah, he ends up soul jumping into a mechanical turtle, who at one point just wanted
A penis.
big dick.
penis. He just wanted a penis, a giant penis.
Just
He wanted to
yeah.
fit in.
He just wanted a really giant
He
penis.
just wanted
Yeah.
to fit in, but not to anything of his race.
Nope.
I wish I had an enormous.
But
He just
Will
wanted a
Will
penis, like, poof, and,
Will had passed away. Horam said, "Hey, I can heal this later. Not right now, but later. Get his body to the surface." And Wide Eye, who happened to be more rat-like at the time, was like, "Okay, sure." Picked up his corpse and brought it to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And moving through the temple of Blibdopulp,
Yep.
we managed to go ahead and well, we managed to go ahead and come across these these like baby dragons, but not quite dragons, and we killed a bunch of
There's-
them.
Also, the pit trap.
They were like fragons.
Oh God, yeah, the pit trap. We're not really too worried about that. Nor we're more worried about the fact that we ended up meeting Dorlot.
Yeah, Dorlot. Let's
I
not
think
talk
the
about
pit trap would have
traps.
almost killed us more than Dorlot, to be honest.
You say us, I say me.
But no, Dorlot
Oh,
was
yeah.
Dorlot is actually the son of Embarda,
Kind. Yeah,
the witch dragon that we had freed before.
he was really angry at us because we killed his kids, but then he was really happy when he realized that we had unleashed.
Yeah, he's like,
terrifying
oh wait,
evil
you're
upon
the
the
flurry
world."
of bros. I've read about you on the evil Instagram.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, I love your work. You guys are great. Hey, do you think just a maybe? Could you go kill the douchebag that's imprisoning me here so I can go free and unleash evil on the world? We were like, you know what?
Because apparently
Sure.
Xena, who we were tasked with finding, was actually kind of a slave to Libdopol in the Underdark.
Mhm.
It was leading the Kuotoa down.
And he had cast a seal that basically, if Zenith
long
was
as he was-
alive,
No, not alive. As long as he was in the
Yeah,
dungeon, that dungeon, he couldn't leave.
yeah.
So
we had to kill him and drag his corpse out.
we didn't kill
Well,
him.
we didn't actually kill him, remember? We end up
Yeah.
going ahead, we go further into the dungeon, we find Zenith, and Zenith decide, who at this point is just an old man, a shadow of his former days,
Until he beefs
until
up.
he
and-
hulks up.
Yeah.
Until he wants to
and
relive the
becomes-
glory days, literally.
becomes a tiny Bane.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying. He has multiple shields that none of us could break.
Yeah, he ended up giving us, 4 rounds to try and do something.
You guys took 4 rounds
Yeah.
to attack him with all you guys had, and you put hardly a dent.
Yeah. At one point, he looked at Innie and said, "I'm tired of your shit."
Yeah,
cut him
because
in
I
half.
was the only one actually doing anything.
Yeah, so he just said
Because,
"fuck
you
you"
know.
and literally cut him in half.
At which point, the Twitch gods, the chat yourselves, resurrected him.
You're right.
50,000
Yeah.
rep. Also, that was I don't know if you guys heard that lightning.
Yeah, we heard it. I heard it
Yeah,
at least. It's true,
Yes,
though.
now- but
It's,
yeah,
it's so true.
Ended up going ahead and getting resurrected right then and there with no armor.
None.
But that's neither here nor there.
Be right back.
That was
Suffice.
his only return. Horam has no more heals.
Yeah,
None.
he isn't as lucky as Will. He doesn't get the multiple body thing. It's a shithead specific thing.
Yeah, only shitheads get it, and I'm not one of those.
It's a shithead teenager class. Look it up in your Pathfinder books. It's in Pathfinder class 14G.
It's
Yeah,
actually,
yeah. Also
it's
known
actually
as
in Bub's
HCT.
personal add-on rulebook, and since it's Bub's personal one, we're allowed to use it. And it's called Shithead Angsty Teen, and it's an archetype for sorcerers.
Mm. But anyways, moving back on, we end up finally breaking Zenith down. I think we ended up getting really lucky because Balthar ended up taking down a couple of the sources of the souls he was using to charge. Regardless, we wear him down, and instead of killing him, we decide we're going to...
Move your mic
Lock
back to your
them in
mouth.
manacles.
Move your mic back to your mouth. We can't really hear you that well, Sniper.
Oh, sorry about that. But anyways,
That's
in the
super.
end, we beat Zenith down. He turns back into an old man, feeble, fragile, and frail. And we end up, instead of killing him like we normally do, because at this point, we've got an image problem we're really trying to fix.
Right.
We end up taking him back to Cauldron.
Yep.
And at that point, we find out that this bugbear who's been helping us along the way, well, turned out to be a lot more than that. Right, Xander?
Yes. Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was a cleric of Saren, right?
No, not a cleric of Saren. Shut up.
He's
One of the he's a warden of Saren, who's part of a group that patrols the outer parts of Cauldron's forest. He was sent on patrol when he was recently in there. Ended up getting captured and then saved by the Flurry, unknowingly at the time. Fast forwarding out of that, we're making our way back into Cauldron after capturing Zenith and.
Well, we do need to point out that Horam was given a chance to go ahead and resurrect Klaus's body.
Yes.
So, you know, Klaus ended up going back into the body of Artis, the fence. And we all get back to town. Now, do note, with this fight, Jerrod actually turned into a shark again.
Yep.
Mhm.
And lost all his armor. And, well, we find out that it's a thing he's going to have to deal with.
Jeez. That's some lightning right there.
Someone's actually just playing bowling on the roof of Austin's house.
I don't know if I should be standing next to my giant glass window.
I mean, you should be
What?
fine. You don't have like a tinfoil hat on, do you?
It's actually a tall tinfoil hat.
I knew it.
I mean, it's a headset is still got some metal component.
I'm gonna run to the
I
bathroom
mean,
real
if you're
quick.
struck by lightning, it doesn't matter how much metal you have
I
on
mean,
you. That's lightning.
luckily, house is made of concrete, so I shouldn't be too in danger. But
You're not going to die. We're not that lucky.
I'm gonna go hide my A so
Wait.
it doesn't get wet.
Red can't die because Sniper is red in the future.
No, I figured it out. It's different universes.
Yeah, he's a separate timeline.
Yeah.
So
Red's
after-
never gonna actually like children.
After we end up resurrecting Klaus back into Artis's body, that's where we start kind of fast forwarding into the more current situation where
Yeah, we
start
get
getting
back into town. We get
and
get
we
back
start
into
figuring
town.
out. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we get back into town. We end up getting our reward from Zenith Splinter Shield. We get some new armor, some new gear, and things are going around. But then we, kind of in the background, we find out that Davked Splinter Shield is not Davked. We've been tricked. We've been bamboozled. We've been fooled.
Not a bamboozling. Those are the worst kind of things.
But regardless, things carry on like normal for the flurry. We fail in epic style. And it turns out that Balthar isn't going to go back to the woods and be his little ranger self. He ends up deciding to keep an eye on the flurry of bros because up until then, he had not known who we are. And now he knows we're the perpetrators of the massacre at the Lucky Monkey.
Yep.
So he's
all
a
like,
snitch.
I got my fucking eye on you.
Yeah.
He's the insider for the guard now. As a big conversation that happened with him and
Tercion.
Skellerang.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I should say Tercion since it is another Skellerang. And so you had a big conversation with Tercion about how you're a warden of Saren, and you can work alongside us to keep him updated with what goes on in our party because nobody really knows. We don't even know what goes on most of the time. So hopefully someone can discern.
We had literally
actions.
unleashed a third ancient evil upon the world.
Yeah, let's go ahead and recap how well the Flurry of Bros has done so far. We've gone through probably half a dozen characters at this point. Klaus has hopped 3 bodies.
4.
No.
Hidden and back. Yeah.
No, we agreed. The first one is polymorph.
Okay,
that was still his body.
Yeah.
But yes,
He
he's hopped
changed
between
forms.
3 different bodies. Horam has assisted the birth of a demon, which he has adopted as his own.
Yep.
He has lost his his divine powers from Saren Ray,
Because
gotten
I
them
read
back,
him.
gotten them back
Shocking.
because Sakata decided to go ahead and gamble away his soul. Sakata has returned from the dead.
Yeah, I'm a zombie who sold his soul for.
Returned from the dead and sold his soul.
Yep.
Balthar, well, let's be honest, he's a bugbear.
That's basically as fucked up as he is.
What more needs to be said about that? Oh, yeah, and he's a dirty snitch.
Oh shit, we haven't even really touched onto that.
Not yet. We just know that he's
No
going
one's
to be...
found out about it yet.
So then this leads us into this current chapter. This is chapter 5, guys. And this has been
I hope you liked our 6-hour recap.
this has been huge. I know that you're laughing about it, but this chapter has been fucking nuts so far. There's been
and we've released 3 evil dreads upon the world.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We've
what's
unleashed
the third?
ancient evils.
Dorlot.
Doomlot.
Dorlot.
Yeah,
Dorlot.
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 Tiffany the Magic Amadeus.
What?
And then the Draco Lich.
I like Tiffany the best.
Yeah. Dorlot,
cutest.
Barta, and...
He
Tiffany.
said Tiffany. He means
Adamarcus.
Adamarcus.
I wasn't familiar with Tiffany. That's a new one.
That's
It's
not.
it's an acronym.
It turns out that's what he used to call her when they were dating.
Why'd you have to be so bitchy, Red? This is actually just a giant ploy to get back at you because you're one of the evil exes.
That's the real reason why.
So you guys have freed Adamarcus, which is a god, not just like a random snub,
No, like
shitty
an evil
person,
god.
like an evil god. On top of that, you freed an ancient Dracolich
Yeah.
by the name of Ambarda, which translates to doom.
Doom. But I do want to point out, as we go along, the evils that we set loose upon the world are getting progressively less and less. We're getting better at this.
The last one is
Dorlot.
Dorlot.
You
I
guys
keep wanting to say
freed
Doomlot.
Dorlot, which
Yeah,
at
the
this
evil dragon.
at this
son of
point, yeah, it's Ambarda's son,
Yeah, so we've unleashed Daddy and Son, just because.
and even he laughed when you told him that you freed Ambarda. He was like, "Oh, you guys fucked up! Oh, you guys fucked up so bad!"
It's like, wait, you're a paladin. What the fuck's going on right here?
Before I came on.
Yeah, wasn't he? I don't know.
We didn't semi-free demon. We left a demon just to chill.
No,
there.
no, Rainston. We haven't gotten to that point yet.
No,
we've still got more fucking up to go.
But Dorlot said, "Hey, you know, if you do this favor for me and you remove him, it will free me and I'll owe you guys one. I'll kill the fuck out of you because you murdered my children.
But like, I owe you right now.
I owe you one."
It's basically the same situation as Ambarda.
Yeah. He
Whereas
planned to
we're
do us
like,
all eventually, but he did give us a favor.
for the time being, he's an ally. But you know, once that favor's
same
gone,
thing with Adamarcus. Last time we saw him, he was kind of chained up against a wall. So you know, still kind of.
Well, hey, let's put it this way. At least the evil guys feel like they have to pay back a debt before they decide to go ahead and disembowel us.
That's a positive.
It's something.
Go for it, any.
That Dorlot didn't want to kill all of us.
Just the ones who
that killed his babies. And I wasn't one of them, and neither was Klaus, and neither was
Balthar. Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if Sakata ended up killing one or not.
He ended up killing like 3 in a single hit, and then you took out about 2 or 3 as
Jerrod,
well.
No, I killed the shit out of most.
Jerrod fucking weed whacked them down.
Jerrod killed more of them.
I think Sakata may have killed one.
I killed, I believe, 2 of them with a cleave.
Yeah, that wasn't us. That was you guys.
Yeah, that was all us doing it, and then
I ain't picking up the tab for that one.
No, you literally did pick
Don't
up the tab
blame
because
him.
you picked us up and jumped us over the fucking.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, you did pick us up.
Suffice it to say, yeah, okay, Dorlot, we're gonna have an issue in the future, but that's neither here nor there. At this point, we are back in Cauldron. We actually got some real cool threads, man. We got some awesome gifts, real nice armor.
It's so true.
You know, we're looking good. We're starting to feel like heroes.
And he almost lost the ability to wear that armor, or at least that would be cool.
I almost lost the armor itself.
and then a freaking riot breaks out.
Yep.
I mean, we can't get no rest here, man.
Basically, as we were coming back, we noticed the town has been quite gloomy. The citizens seem to be a little pissed. You can tell the air is not quite so peaceful. There are half-orcs on guard.
Half-orcs everywhere.
Which
they're
is
working with the guard now.
Yeah, it's insane.
And now they're out in numbers.
Yeah, they don't even listen really to Tercion. They listen to someone else. And they're just kind of the local hired help.
Yeah, and so all at once the city decides to go ahead and start rioting and rebelling and all that because, well, nobles being nobles.
Someone decided it would be a good idea to go in front of City Hall and stir up the entire citizen base with a speech, not to draw them to arms, but to draw them and pull in attention for the issue of the taxation.
Yes.
The last laugh, however, decided this should go down differently, and
one thing to point out is normally the Flurry of Bros, hey, it's taxation. We don't care. I mean,
we're adventurers.
We're there to fuck shit up and make money. But it turns out a friend of ours, she decided to go ahead and make her way over from the Church of St. Cuthbert.
Right.
And she implored us to go
after
ahead.
getting stomped on.
Well, that's
and
neither
then
here nor
stabbed.
there. Yeah, but she implored us to go ahead and save a friend.
It's true.
Whose name I cannot remember.
Tercival.
Alec Tercival.
Alec.
So the ones who went were Klaus.
Yep.
And Mr. Roland.
Yeah, because
Balthar.
they're able to go ahead and like fly and jet set radio across the city.
Basically.
Yeah, and we're kind of just, we didn't want to go ahead and get weighted down.
We watched over the tavern.
Yeah, we helped out with, we helped out at the tip tanker.
We were loosening the door hinges for future events.
Yeah. With my tongue.
Jesus Christ. That's horrifying.
First doorknobs and now door hinges. It slowly evolves.
Right. getting
I
weird.
say devolves, not evolves. It's getting worse, not better.
Yeah.
So Will or
getting
Klaus or Will or Ronald?
Yep,
Were,
Will and Will.
Yeah, you guys were the ones there. What do you guys remember happening in the chaos?
All right, as chaos started ensuing, just like you said, as the last lap decided that it would be a good idea to start pushing forward and start attacking, and the one who started the people getting riled was Mabu. He was the husband of the woman that died of the Umber Hulk back when you guys first started.
Not the husband.
Father.
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 This isn't Alabama, man.
Sorry,
Yeah.
father of the girl that died to the Umber Hulk.
Yes.
When you guys first started out.
Yeah, the one who doesn't like me for some reason.
And then we had Skylar, the young guard of Cauldron, ended up dying as well because he got stabbed to death by members of the last lap as well as other rioters when they started pushing the town hall gates. Shortly thereafter, there was an explosion on the side of the town hall, which ended up being the summoning of a breath drinker. Balthar and Klaus ended up fighting the breath drinker because they noticed that it was gunning for Mabu, and we ended up saving him barely. It wasn't until after that we realized that the members of the last were still out there and that Tercion was in trouble because they had openly called for a right of challenge of peers between Tercion and Tercival. Taking this as a note that he could be in danger, we started making our way back around towards the tavern to the main guardhouse and informing the rest of the flurry that they needed to hurry along and follow us to prevent this. Seeing as that was happening, 5 members of the last lap were gunning their way into the guardhouse, or to the guardhouse as we were making our pursuit. When we started making our pursuit there, we ended up killing one of them and apprehending. No, we ended up killing 3 of them and apprehending 2 of them. The one of them that was apprehended was from me. The other one was from Jerrod. 2 that were killed were from Sakata and from Klaus, and then the other one, Tercion himself, just shit canned the moment he broke in. He's like, "I'm here to assassinate you," and Tercion's like, "Fuck off," and he essentially just died.
Yeah, he just
Mystic palmed the motherfucker.
Yeah. So after that took place, we ended up letting them know that they called for a trial of peers, which Tercion wasn't too happy about. He more or less implored us to kind of get our shit together still, but good work on handing people, and wanted to make sure that that the town itself was going to get itself back together, but we couldn't keep fucking up the way that we have been, or else we weren't going to really change anything. We're just going to cause more mess. Leaving the guardhouse, we were flagged down by Mob himself, who then told us that we needed to make our way over to Red Gorge, which was a town outside of Cauldron, and then letting us know that we had to meet with Alec Tercival there to discuss some information. We were going to go there to the Red Miners Inn, and we had to use the secret word mortar to kind of start the conversation once we were met by the informants who were going to talk about this.
But before we do that, we decided we wanted to go ahead and investigate something that happened.
The apothecary.
Yeah, the apothecary of the apothecary all you need.
Yeah,
correct.
Connor.
Making our way over there, we started to realize that the person had left quite some time ago. And the store itself was left abandoned. Breaking our way into the.
To start with,
It wasn't quite some time ago. It was left when this taxation started.
Yes,
we
sorry
knew
about
he
that.
left, but we wanted to investigate anyway, hoping to find something about the last lap. Because
Right.
we knew he had ties and associations.
Correct.
Right. The reason that he left wasn't just because he was like, you know what, things just look better in the next town. He wasn't going to pay his taxes, and they already made it clear by hanging Naomi. Naomi Wildfire was the druid who was freely growing various
Healing herbs.
yeah, we'll call it that. We'll call it that. Various herbs in the middle of the town in an old building. And since Naomi took up residence, she hasn't paid any of her taxes. None of them. So when they came to collect, she wasn't there, or she was there, but she refused to pay, and she was since hung. She was hung. So Connor said, fuck it, I'm out. Things getting too wild. Getting too wild for me. Too rich for my blood.
Correct. Upon looking inside the shop, we realized that a lot of the materials that he had been holding had been materials that have been linked to the summonings of the Umber Hulk, possibly even the Monster of Crater Lake, and
the Elemental,
the air drink, the breath drinker.
Breath drinker.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when we realized that there was a secret compartment in another room that led to another chamber below the store.
Yes.
That chamber held a bone devil.
Barbed devil, correct.
Barbed devil. Held barbed devil. After figuring out that the devil himself was locked inside and he was taunting us continuously, we ended up learning his name, which I don't know how to pronounce correctly. It's
Zinfinel.
There you go. He ended up getting quiet, and we ended up realizing that Horam potentially bound him to that area. Because when we opened up the container, when we opened up the trap door, he wasn't moving when we went down.
Well,
prior to opening the door,
I do feel the need to point out that when we did open the trap door,
yeah,
Klaus blew us all up.
Well, it was trapped with silver-lined locks, which when they embedded into Jerrod and Sakata's skin, it caused them to start shifting into their were forms, and we ended up finding out that Sakata has been infected with lycanthropy of the were rat.
Yeah, I'm part rat.
And Jerrod's form had also been affected as well, forcing him into his were sharp, which after a quick struggle, we were able to pull the silver out of their body, making them back to their original forms.
Yeah, I forgot that.
During this time as well, that there was, because of the explosion, a little prior to the explosion, Horam saw someone looking out the window. But after that, of course, the trap went off, everything blew up, and we took care of Sakata and Jerrod, and then making our way down into the hole, which is where we saw the devil bound into that area. It wasn't until Horam poked him that his blood made contact with the devil itself, and he was able to communicate telepathically with the
and I kind of want to hear from Horam. Yeah, what was that discussion like?
I mean, I can go over it.
You probably should.
Yeah, please do.
I went to manacle him because I didn't want him getting out, but when I went to manacle something that basically a porcupine trying to put handcuffs on a porcupine, you get pricked. It's almost inevitable. But in my getting pricked, and one single drop of blood fell from my finger onto him, so it wasn't like it was that big of a deal. But he somehow was able to communicate, like Sniper had said. And to me, he said that he could smell his scent on me, and that I was the one that bound him here, and that I wanted to help him out. I wanted to send him back, but I didn't want him in this world.
Right.
And he was helpless, so the best I could do was banish him in some way possible. Because everyone deserves a life, but evil doesn't deserve life in my plane. And
well,
so,
did you end up banishing him, or did we end up just leaving him there?
Leaving him there would cause him to be banished to the other plane.
Well, so he said.
I mean, so he said. If he's not, then we'll go back and get him. But
yeah,
that's the risk I was willing to take.
Yeah, and what kind of attachment does he have to you? What kind of connection?
I was getting there. He
He's
said
the
he
mother
could
of the
smell
child.
a lot of me on him. And by that he meant the kid that I had been taking care of was his kid.
Yeah.
And I told him specifically that the child will turn out nothing like his father. And that was the last thing I said before I head out.
We got into a rather heated argument because Jerrod and Sakata wanted the devil, and Balthar essentially said no. Striking an opponent when he's down like this and completely helpless is wrong. Everyone kind of got pissed with each other, and we kind of just agreed that the safest thing to do would not chance it, and we ended up heading back up.
I do want to point out, we have now released 4 evils upon the world.
We didn't release this last one though.
Yeah.
Well,
He's still
I'm pretty
bound
sure,
there.
No,
He's not bound.
We don't know that.
He's not bound anymore.
Yeah, why would he be bound?
He's just chained up and dying.
No, he's not even chained up.
Yeah, he's gone.
I mean,
Yeah,
he was paralyzed by us using his
But
name. We never got
yeah.
any cover.
That he was
He was
going to
unparalyzed.
So we've got a 50-50 shot.
Yeah. After that, that's when we decided that it would probably be best for us to make our way to Red Gorge, but we stopped off at a halfling's house. Well, shop more or less, kind of rundown shop.
Tygets.
Tygets, yes.
Yes.
Tygets shop,
things.
and we ended up. What?
Tygets things.
Yes. The shop named Tygets Things. We ended up stopping by his place, and him and his companion, which is we believe to be a blink dog, were in there kind of selling their wares, or more or less Tyget was, but the dog kind of giving him signals as to trying to be fair with prices. We ended up coming across a mask on Sakata's end. Correct? The baboon mask that we were told had links to the Demogorgon. And then I came across a painting that I thought was nice to get. Other than that, I don't believe we bought anything else, correct?
Well, we did get a little bit of information about Alec and what he's doing over in Red Gorge. But that's neither here nor there. Regardless, we went ahead and got set up for our trip, which is
Correct.
where we find ourselves now.
Right now. Yep.
And with that, after 9, 10, 11, after 4.5 hours, you're caught up.
Yep.
Yeah. Mostly caught up. Mostly caught up.
Well, we're mostly the good guys.
Yeah, we're essentially where we left off, guys, is we're resting up and making our way out to Red Gorge. Or possibly making another stop before Red Gorge. We don't know. We're debating.
Well, we are the most powerful heroes in the city.
Yeah,
that
we plan to
aware
stop
of.
We plan to stop the ranger house.
That you're aware of.
That we're aware of.
Yeah.
And you know, we try to help the city out. Really, we do. Jerrod loves his city, but he's surrounded by idiots. And he seems to be one himself.
Realization sets in.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's where we're at.
That's the 100 episodes in a wrap.
Yeah, in a wrap. In a wrap, even. 100
You know, very
episodes
very
in a wrap.
small.
We have skipped quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
But think of it this way: we've had 100 episodes of like 5 hours per episode, and we just condensed all of that into about 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
You got to say it's a little bit impressive.
yeah.
Only
To
we could
be
do that with
fair,
our actual
Jerrod-
gameplay.
I'll argue that one. Jerrod's actually an incredibly intelligent guy. Between him and Klaus, they lead pretty well.
It gets a little
You're
nuts.
trying to elbow your way to the front of the group. It's like, yeah, I'm here too. I'm leading as well. Yep, it's
I'm
me.
not
Uh-huh.
as you said, Jerrod's an intelligent man. I looked over and it just so happened to be on the stats. He's mildly average. You're a 10. You're a villager.
that's the thing.
Someone
You have the intelligence of.
You're a commoner.
He's an incredibly intelligent guy.
Commoner.
If by intelligent you mean he flex good, yes.
You're not dumb. You're
He's common.
Yeah, which Horam is also, I would like to point out.
Yeah, which I don't know why everyone thinks you're retarded.
I'm about as smart as
get
a
it.
bugbear, so I mean, I'll take it.
I'm actually.
I oftentimes think that Horam is retarded because of the things that he decides to do. Like he finds out that he's huge, or not huge, but large size, so he wants to fucking
fix himself as his body.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
When you used yourself as a lockpick and started charging through the doors.
That wasn't Horam.
No, it was.
That was Griffith.
No, that was.
That's
No,
how
that
he
was
died.
you.
That was Horam.
You
Sure?
as
Yeah,
Horam.
that was-
Yeah, then that's how my other character died too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I forget about that. That was my birthday present.
That's
I come
actually
in line.
that's part of the biggest reason that you lost your paladin abilities was one because you doubted your god, and two because you assisted in the senseless murder of innocent people.
Didn't the
Yeah,
didn't the
that happened.
demon baby birthing also have something to do with it?
Actually, very little.
Okay.
She was surprised at
Everyone
the
hates me
action.
for that.
Yeah, she was surprised with the action, but she sees the good in Horam's heart.
If it turns out to be something evil, you're damn right I'm going to punish for it.
Mm.
But if I'm right,
Yeah.
then I did something good for once.
Let me kill my allies by being dumbass.
I have yet to kill any of my allies for being dumb. I've killed my allies because I am weak of will.
It's true.
Who's this?
Because I take
true.
suggestions so well. Evil characters look at me and they're like, "Yo, bro, kill your partner," and I'm like, "Sure."
It's like, really? Right now? Okay.
Fucker owes me money anyway.
Unmade Gaming just came in. Oh, I think we're getting Unmade rated.
We are.
Oh shit.
And unmade
Unmade
rate.
rate,
Damn.
That's right. That's right.
Guys, you're coming in late. Now we got to start all over.
All right.
All right, guys. So,
Spool the recap.
all right.
just
So
finished
at the
our
very
show.
beginning, we were at a coffee
Oh
farm.
my
We were trying
God.
to get rid of some baboons.
We just finished making our characters. Okay, so
guys, thank you so much for coming in. Unmade and crew. Guys, this was our 100th episode. And to celebrate the events, we have decided, well, I decided, and they just kind of ran with it, to recap the entire 100 episodes in such a way. It was like we were looking at our accolades of fuckery, and they were just remembering all of these things that they've done, all of the characters that they've gone through, and it's just a little mind-blowing to see how far that they've come, how far that they can still go, and to know that they're not even halfway through the book. After 100 episodes, we have...
Basically, we're right on track.
Yeah.
Some told us when we started this, this might take a year or so to finish. So we're fine.
We've been
We are.
going now, this particular group has been going now for just over 2 years, and we have broken into episode 100. Obviously, we have to miss courtesy of life events or holidays, things of that nature, but it's been really, really great. It's the epic tale of dumbasses. That's accurate. Yeah, it totally is. So
If I had to put it into words, I would say, "We the best."
I like Leah's. Behold, dumbasses.
yes,
Basically,
I love how everyone's kind of like, "Oh yeah, dumbasses. Oh god, you guys are ruining. You release so many, and yet you guys are here every Wednesday night, and
You
you're
didn't
giving
stop
away
us.
rep to fuck us up."
Okay, Sniper. Would you ever look away from a horrible car crash?
Would you stop watching when
I
plane
wouldn't
hits
stop
the
and
train
throw
that hits
$5
the car?
at him.
oh, that's so good.
He's got a point.
Oh,
that makes sense.
We just need to end the night there. It's not getting any better.
I could picture that though. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, you see Sniper? He's all money."
oh my goodness. So to kind of catch you guys up on the events that have transpired, we've broken into 100 episodes, and we have taken the time to recap these events to commemorate this particular event. We have had a shirt made. Thank you very much, Bibars, for the follow, brother. Welcome to the fam. And this shirt is the only place left in this town that is vested and built into the caldera of a volcano that actually likes the players, courtesy of some good choices and some epic moments I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this particular shirt. Here it is. It's the Tip Tankard, serving cauldron since 655. Luckily, they have been in the good graces of the tavern owner. They have assisted a great deal. These shirts will go up for pre-order this Friday. It's a good opportunity for you guys to do just that. And it will be up for the rest of the year, or excuse me, rest of the month. Jesus, not the rest of the year. The rest of the month, this is the tavern, again, the Tip Tankard. I'm really, really impressed.
When we hit chapter 6, so see you guys in another year.
Oh, I'm so impressed by this group. I'm also disgusted 9 times out of 10. But
we're not as bad as your Thirsty.
Yeah, we could be worse.
No, like you guys. All right, so here's the thing.
We're tame now.
Like, you guys somehow managed to blow my mind with the failures. They managed to narrowly get me arrested with some of the awful things they do on Thursdays.
Yeah, we just fail in spectacular fashion. They just happen to be awful people.
They're good people, good intentions, but somehow it always ends up going to butt stuff, and it freaks me out.
Yeah, we all know why it all goes to
We
butt
are
stuff.
flashy failure. They're flashy kids, for lack of a better term.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, don't put the glitter kid near them.
You know, in a case like that, if there is no better term, maybe you just shouldn't say anything.
I mean, I'm gonna go there.
All the butt stuff. Yeah, I probably might be peeking a little bit. It's been a weird night. Yeah, so I think in general, Thursdays, Good Fridays, when we can actually meet, is really a really great game when it can actually meet.
Yeah, they're actually really just a solid game. The quirks are interesting.
Yep.
The story's fun. The players are interactive. They don't go too far one way or too far the other.
I still like Jerrod.
But it's early days yet. It's early days yet.
Yeah. It's such a tricky game to get together because so many of the casters have a variety of schedules. Life hits them so intensely. But that's something we're trying to correct. Man, oh man. And now, like, guys, we spent basically all night long recapping, and, well, we didn't get to play.
But it was worth it.
This would make for
I hate to
a
say
good
it.
VOD.
I hate to say it, but this is worth it. This is a VOD worth saving.
Yeah.
This is
Because
the VOD
we go
that
over-
anyone asks.
We went over all the major failures that
Yeah.
we've done as a group, and the minor victories as well. Really
what victories we have had.
I suppose we should go ahead and... I know one thing we can do to go ahead and cap off the stream, because we've only got like a half hour left.
A
Why
little
don't we
less
just
than,
go-
yeah.
Yeah, why don't we just go around the circle and explain how our characters have changed since we first incorporated them to what they are now.
They have evolved. They've certainly evolved.
Oh, hell yeah, have we evolved. I mean,
I think
Balthar...
Balthar
maybe
is the newest, and even he
Yeah,
is seeing...
let's him go first since it's the shortest.
Balthar, like, even since the beginning, as we've seen some change in him. He's been forced to make aggregated decisions in a way that is not something I feel like he wants to do, but it's something he must do. Go ahead.
Like working with the flurry.
Go ahead. Let's give him a second to kind of
Well,
reach
I mean,
up on that.
Character-wise, it's not necessarily that he's having like hard decisions to make, but it's more or less like having to deal with such like a ideology conflict of like how people don't understand like it's possible to preserve life, and like it's like he's been around like-minded people before, so to see such like a radical like confrontation of like, no, we gotta kill him, it's like he's asking more like why does this have to be the way it is, like why is it so cut and dry. So it's not necessarily that he's conflicted with, oh man, do I have to kill someone. I mean, he knows that there's going to be a time where he has to, but not necessarily like every encounter that he's made in such like a short span of time did he think like, why are we just killing people so needlessly, like why are we not like...
So it's a major culture clash, the ideologies of
yes,
Balthar, the Ranger, and the Flurry of Rose, City of Heroes.
Right.
correct. Yeah. So like from what he's seen, it's like from before, like he joined you guys, it was kind of like, all right, well, we caught the bad guys, we stopped them. All right, they don't want to tell us anything. Okay, well, we have the proper authorities. We're not executioners. Well, they deal with that portion. Our job is done. And then he gets to Cauldron, and it's like, all right, we just killed a bunch of people. Okay, well, no one's been arrested yet, and I'm pretty sure the Flurry's already got like a pretty big list of why they shouldn't be doing this still, and no one stopped them. So it's kind of like, it's like
we have this list of multiple.
I do feel like I do feel the need to point out that Balthar's an evil character.
How?
I mean, I just feel like this is worth pointing out. He's an evil character, and he feels like we're too violent.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Balthar's not evil.
He's good.
He's
lawful.
I think it's that racist side of your character coming out again. Not all
think
bugbears.
he's a bugbear, so he's a
Wait! I thought he started off the play as an evil character.
No, he's a ranger.
I did want to take a second though. One delicious man.
Good the entire time, bro.
One delicious man. Thank you so much for officially becoming a Bubscriber, sir. Welcome to the Bub Club. You beast, you guys. That puts us at 77. We're at 77 subs. Holy shit. Where's my... There it is.
I think that all Ronald's characters are evil. Yeah.
Yeah. I've only made... and even Malgrim wasn't evil. He turned evil because of his vampirism. And even that's technically not him controlling it.
Balthar, I could have sworn when you first made him, you made him an evil character.
No.
So
nope.
that
he was a mindless animal when we first met him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. I'm sorry.
Balthar is chaotic good. Desmond was chaotic good. Malgrim was true neutral.
Cool.
Yeah. I had only one evil character that I made, and Bub fucking hates him more than Theo.
Only because he was such a cock.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy made Theodwin seem like Desmond. Like my character was that
He's
fucking
very nice.
yeah.
Fucking
all right.
Stupid.
I still hear stories every so now and again.
Valmar?
Yeah, Valmar.
If Balthar dies, that's my next character. I'm letting you know.
I'll let him in the game for just long enough for him to be struck by a flaming corpse and fucking explode and pop like a balloon.
He almost got hit with flying human remains before. What happened? It missed.
So, who wants to...
Klaus, I just said around the circle.
Rule, I would be inclined to agree, but we typically, like, this group has gone through a few different players, and I don't know, I mean, I'm sure ladies could get down with this particular group, but this is just a bunch of dudes just meeting, and it's like, this group, if you've come to this stream looking for consistent content that the players regularly push through all the time, this is not the stream for you. Particularly this group, because they'll spend 5 hours going through 25 feet of a hallway and then dying.
Gotta help you if there's a trap.
And then dying. But this is as close to it gets as friends meeting around a table and having a good time, eating snacks, shooting the shit. We just have a good time. We may not get a lot of content done, but the fucking memories we make are unparalleled. Yep.
There's a reason why we were able to recall 100 sessions and still not have too many plot holes in our memory.
Yep.
Because we just don't do that much.
There is also that.
Yeah, that's a factor for sure.
It's good stuff.
But yeah, Klaus, why don't you go ahead and tell us how vastly changed has Klaus been from
on a physical level? How much has Klaus changed?
Well, not just on a physical level, just like when you first made the character, how he was in your mind, the concept to where he is now. Because I mean, I think you've probably had the largest spread of levels. I think you started off with him at like level 2.
It was, yeah, I think it was actually like level 2. because by the time everyone came out of the dungeon, they were around 3, and since I had died, I needed to make a new character and I lose a level. Pretty sure I started at level 2 with Klaus. So I actually started with Klaus on I think it was episode 17, because I'm pretty sure we got out on 16, and 17 was when we were starting the actual campaign.
Yeah.
So from episode 17 to episode 100. Holy shit! How much time do we have?
Well,
All right,
when you
recap
first
again.
made Klaus, what was your concept? What did you want him to
So basically, I made him because I had played a couple of. I'd only played 2 characters with Bub at that point, and they had both been kind of like older, grizzled warriors. One of them being a fighter, the other one being a ranger.
Like to puke in the well.
Let's not revisit a campaign that's not part of this whole thing, 'cause that'll just make everything more confusing.
That'll be confusing as sin.
But anyway, so I made him because I wanted to try out a caster, and I built the character kind of around that. So he's this shitty teen who's just angsty and fucking annoying as shit to everyone around him. Like, he doesn't want to be involved, he doesn't want to do anything, he just wants to, basically be left to his own devices. And he doesn't know anything about the world because he's just completely oblivious to his past, basically. And then everything happened, and he's probably
And he went from
Probably
being
the
the
most
angsty. He went
yeah.
from being the angsty, don't mess with me, I don't want responsibilities teen, to being the de facto hero leader of the flurry of bros trying
and
to
Cauldron as a
save
whole,
Cauldron.
really. Yeah. I basically have stepped into the shoes that I could never fill of being the hero of an entire town that is constantly under duress and under siege from evil monsters, evil beings, evil deities.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it
I
sounds
feel
like
like-
Klaus grew the fuck up fast.
I feel like
That's
if anyone
basically
has-
what it has been.
If they ever have to acknowledge the flurry, it's always Klaus and the flurry of bros. Like we'll separate him because he's the actual good part, and then they're just like, there's these guys right here.
Hey, fuck
Like-
you too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate not being referred to as good. Feels good, man. Feels bad.
I mean, it's the crew you roll around. I mean, that's not.
Fuck.
But
But
yeah,
no, I mean,
it's
and not
you.
only is he a
It's the
caster
people
now,
who
I mean,
surround
what
us.
else is what else have we found out about Klaus over the 80 plus sessions?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot
I'm
more
sure
about
motive.
Klaus. He learned from Dorlot that his kind he's experienced before. There's a lot more to him.
and
Gangster rap made him do them.
clearly there's something going on with me that I don't fully understand, because I've died at least twice now, and
It's so crazy
have
though. Like
still live.
your character's 15 years
Next day.
old, yet he's been forced to grow up like so fucking
I
fast.
started off at
because of-
15. I'm like, I want to say
He might be
exactly
16
that
now.
past- I want to say it's like 16 and a half, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
It's been about a year and a half in game, I think.
Well, we could always ask
I'm
Bub.
old.
He's got the timeline.
well, yeah, it's a year's roughly passed.
In game?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I
Yeah.
think it's been at least a year. I don't know about a year.
I feel like
Well,
it's been
since
like
since
6
the beginning of
months.
the game.
Yeah, because there was the storm
After
breakers
the
we took-
time jump. After the
Oh,
time
okay.
jump.
3
All right,
months off after. We
That's
basically
what-
took 3
I-
months in the town after Director's Way.
I think it's been like
and
6
then
or
we
7
had
months.
like 4 months of the rainy season.
I want to say that it's been about 9 to 10 months
Yeah.
time.
it
So it's
has
not even been a year yet.
yeah.
so his birthday's almost upon him.
we have a
Assuming my
couple-
birthday was like around the time that I was found in the coffee farm, then yeah.
Yeah,
But
this is
Hey,
Klaus.
I've got-
This is
Happy
Klaus.
birthday!
Pretty-
You
that's
get to be an
pretty dope.
adventurer.
Yeah, this
It's
is Will
true.
saying no. We're not doing a birthday episode.
Klaus will eventually get his first nut hair.
Yeah, and that having been said, just to kind of like cap it off, what's like Klaus's main impetus? Because we know that Balthar is his main thing at this point is to go ahead and keep an eye on the flurry. Like, what's driving Klaus at this point?
Clearly there's more evil that needs to be rooted out in Cauldron, and also it seems that my fate is kind of intertwined with the fate of the town, because I need to know more about where I came from and who I am and why I have all of this power and all of this responsibility.
Why
yeah,
me, motherfucker? Why
yeah,
me?
basically. I mean, like, it's the only way I'm gonna find out more about myself is to
Why is
continue
it that
on this
when I
path.
die, something always seems to magically help me? What is this?
Speaking of dying, Annie, you want to go up next?
You are next in the rotation, Sniper.
Well, okay,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
next
I
in the
suppose to be
rotation.
fair,
I'll
we
go-
can go
I'll
with
go.
me next in the rotation. All right. So, yeah, Jerrod is fallen really, really, really far short of what I had originally intended for him. I built him after working with Bub, being like, hey, maybe he can go ahead and be related to the city in some way. Because I wanted him to go ahead and have like a real firm impetus as to why he's doing all this with the Flurry of Bros. And it was like, oh man, he can be the Skeller, the lost Skeller egg. I thought he'd be some epic hero, newly returned, just out of his element, lots of angst and drama on the family side. But I had originally intended him to just be kind of that knight in shining armor. I wanted him to be the leader. And then chat happened. So let's see. Let's sum up what he is now. He's a drug addict. Because well, yeah, he's a potion addict. He just does not like to be wounded whatsoever. He'll chug those bad boys down in a heartbeat, and he'll fight you for him. You know what I mean, man? He has a fetish for swords and doors.
He does.
He has been caught. He has been caught filleting his door.
Yeah. He has, in fact.
Just slobbering that knob in the most literal sense. Let's see. He blames his mother for everything. He looks really good in aprons. Has an intense fear of spiders, but was saved by one, so one was cool, but then he accidentally killed it. So he now has PTSD. Yeah, and his brother hates him. His father kind of saw him as the favorite, then died by a door.
Yep.
His mother was a horrible person who beat him and locked him in closets behind a door.
Yep.
So yeah, he's got a thing about doors, guys. I mean, I think even one of his last successful fights involved him flinging doors around.
That's what I was saying about us licking the door hinges. We were getting nice and ready for you to barrel through the entire riot with shields.
So at this point, he's gone from, oh man, I want to make this epic fighter hero that will kind of like help lead the Flurry into how to, best serve the town, to nobody fucking respects me. I just need me a potion and a doorknob.
God damn it.
But he's got some, and of course, he's a wereshark.
Yep.
Because what the fuck else could go wrong? So yeah, a lot has changed. But as far as like his impetus goes, his driving factor, he still wants to go ahead and defend Cauldron. And I think at this point, he really wants to go ahead and get back to being a hero in his brother's eyes. Because, when they were young, the Skellerings, his brother was much, much younger. And he still wants to be a hero in somebody's eyes. He wants to go ahead and live up to it. So at this point, his main drive is not only to save Cauldron, but to kind of save his brother, because his brother's been called out and could potentially be killed. And he wants to be the good big brother. Fuck fate.
So weird to quote.
He says that now.
No. I'm just reading the chat. Leia's like, I hear fate being tempted. No, fuck fate. Chat's been working on way too hard on me. But no, I mean, like, any questions as far as Jerrod goes, or I'm pretty sure we got the main stuff out there.
Fuck fate with a doorknob. Oh, that feels good.
Behind that.
Oh God. Oh goodness. Was there anybody left? Do we have someone left here?
Horam's up next.
Okay. All right. Horam.
I'm just gonna go over Horam and not over the rest of my characters.
That's probably for the best.
we just want your one.
Yeah, no,
The one
I
he's
don't
playing
wanna go
now.
with them. I'm tired of I want them out of my life now. They're not part of me anymore. And so this character came along. His parents were slaughtered by evil when he was a young child, and well, young child is different from Aasimar as it is from humans. Like, we age at like 1/4 the rate, so we're ready for like schooling at the age of like 20.
Sure.
My character is 81, but mentality of maybe a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And so I outlived a lot of my family because the majority of them weren't touched by angels in their bloodline. And so evil just plagued my family, and it was a hard time for me. And so I sought my life to destroying what it was that destroyed my family, and it caused me to go to the place that I saw evil in, and go figure it was a volcano. In this town that I entered. Well, actually, right before I entered this town, I walked past a cave and a bunch of guys were like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Well, I mean,
That's how I got into it.
But yeah, when you first went ahead and made Horam, I mean, when you were thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make this Aasimar Paladin," what did you want him to be?
Well, I wanted him to be like, I don't know,
Like
to
the
fight
moral
evil.
compass of the group or something?
Not even a moral compass. I wanted him to have his own drive, have his own reason to do things, and not have to follow everyone else when they do
I mean,
their own
you
things.
do that now though, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Because I mean, there are a lot of times where it feels like yeah, like we butt heads about a lot of shit, but at the same time, you're like this is how I do my stuff. Like I don't give two fucks.
Yeah,
if
we're
you're upset.
finally starting to get some
I'm-
motivations out of Horam.
I'm not particularly like everyone in this party's friend.
Uh-huh.
Like they're acquaintances, and Horam, not me any. Horam sees them as his means of destroying evil. This crew that he's with, if he can steer them in the right way, is one of the best tools that he could use to see this goal of destroying evil.
So we're not your friends, we're just your acquaintances.
Well,
Let's
yeah.
be honest. Who's
Some of you
Horam's
are friends?
who's Horam's favorite? Come on. Who's
Um,
Horam's favorite?
I don't know. It's hard to decide because
It's Jenya.
Horam's favorite has. Yeah, no.
Oh,
If-
yeah.
If it's an NPC, it would be Jenya. But I thought you were talking about players.
No, that's what I was talking about, but Bub gave you an out, so
Yeah,
fuck
it was
it.
probably Jenya. But of players, I don't have a favorite. It's whoever chooses my way. I will be there. They will be my favorite until they choose to go against me.
Just saying, I did get you back in the favor of your guy, but you know,
Oh
no
yeah,
big deal.
yeah. You tried to get out of that. You're like, no, I didn't do anything. I still have no. Never mind. It's like, oh, what? We still haven't really talked about how you sacrifice.
You
your
know
soul.
what? We don't need to really have that conversation. I think
So,
it's fine.
It's kind of a missed subject in my book.
Well, I'll admit, one of the things that I like the most, and it's been coming out more recently, is how Horam is starting to go ahead and tell his precepts. Like, I thought killing the demon downstairs would have been like an automatic, he's a paladin. Oh yeah, no question. And you're like, no, everything has a right to live just so long as it's not plaguing the town.
In my book, and everything deserves a chance at life. Nothing deserves to be dead, whether it's evil or good. But if it's going to be evil in my plane and do bad things, I will have to take it out because it's ruining what I see as the right thing. However,
Yeah,
if
and
there's
it's just kind of
something-
cool. It's just kind of cool seeing Horam finally go ahead and like push that out there and put his precepts.
If I see something that's evil but has still yet to do anything, like the child that I've adopted, it doesn't deserve to die because of what it is. It hasn't done anything bad yet, so it's not evil. It's just raised, or it was born into a life it didn't deserve, for lack of
Just
a
because it was born of evil doesn't make it evil.
Yeah.
All right, so one last question then: are you happy with how Horam's turned out?
I enjoy how Horam's turned out. I enjoy playing Horam. It's difficult to be a good character. I'll give it that. But
Especially being
always-
especially being an evil fuck like you are.
Yeah, I know. I'm like a conniving dickhead, and I have to try and roleplay as someone that's good and nice. And it's not very Canadian of me to be who I actually am. And then I have to try and roleplay someone that's Canadian, and it's just real backwards.
Oh
It's
God,
backwards.
that's probably the most accurate way to go ahead and explain being a paladin. Is you got to play like everyone's idea of what a Canadian is.
Yeah, exactly. And then
I'm gonna
you
use that.
make a Canadian try and be Canadian. It is real tough.
All right. And last but not least, the man, the myth, the legend,
Master Sakata.
the the failiest of the fails.
Swear to God, if you make your thing like 4 seconds, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth, Austin.
All right, so my name is Kimia.
Shut up.
Okay, so
Like, what was Sakata supposed to be when you first made it?
Sakata was supposed to be a sellsword, like
A kill shit machine is what he means.
not even the kill shit machine. Just Bub said, "Hey, we need a group," and I was like, you know what? I will make a character, and this character he will be a mercenary. He will accept gold. He will go out. He will do missions. He will come back, and he will wait until he's hired again. But then he came back after the very first mission he had, where he was like going for gold in this campaign. He came out, and it was 10 years later. Everything he knew about his hometown had changed completely. He had no bearing whatsoever, and the only reward he was promised was a shithead teenager, because
No. That's the only reward he took.
No, my reward was null and void because the baboon went away.
What was the original award supposed to be, huh?
It was like
Not some angsty teenager, I can tell you that.
no, it was like 10 gold a head, I think, or something like that from baboons.
Something like that, yeah.
It was to recruit a
Yeah,
teenager
so
with
I suppose my question here is, when you first made Sakata, I mean, did you go ahead and just go to the build and you were like, okay, I'm going to be just DPS. I'm just going to go ahead and make a DPS machine. Or did you really like have an idea for Sakata? Like you really sat there and thought, you know what, he's going to be a sellsword.
Yeah, no, I wanted him to be a sellsword. It's why like I didn't go for like full combat optimization. I went for things like throw anything. This is like and proficiency with weapons. Like this would be a dude who could get the job done. At any cost, if you put a price on a mission, he will go out and it will get done. Or he dies. One or the other.
Which he has.
Yeah, he literally has. And he doesn't regret dying in battle. And then the thing is, he never had friends, in a way. Like, he was a loner in that sense, where it was that he goes to a mission, comes to the bar, drinks, goes out on missions. Then he went to the coffee farm, and then they were like, okay, here's a group of 5 or 6 people. You guys are tasked with doing this. So he ended up doing that, and then he found a friend in Rook, and he lost all of his other friends. Klaus was there, and then Klaus ended up being his friend up until he died.
Mm-hmm.
And now?
Now that he's come back, things have changed.
You wanted to be like the man you once hated, so you turned yourself into the one?
Well, he's already died, so he's kind of colder to it. There's no like, oh god, I don't know what's gonna happen. So
He's just like, eh.
He's more willing to throw his body now at the wall. In
My
an
body
attempt to do
is
so.
ready.
Yeah. Everything he knows is gone. The only thing that he really has going for him, outside of at least some kind of friendship with most of the group, is his relationship with Griffith and the fact that he has a bar that he could call home. That is the one thing he has to his name beyond his fighting skills.
All right, so he's grown a little bit since when you first put him out.
He's gained friends and he's learned alliances. At the same time, he's made enemies with people like Tercion, who just don't like him. And he doesn't care that people don't like him. He cares if his friends like him, kind of thing.
So do you think that he is well-liked amidst his friends?
Depends. If Horam knew about the thing, about like if he was open about it and said, hey, look, Saren Ray basically did me a solid, Horam would probably do more, but he doesn't want him to really know that he hurt himself or, well, endangered himself in some sort of way to get Horam's powers back. He wants to help Klaus not die. That's why he got super upset when Klaus did die, because he felt like he could have been there to stop it somehow. Things like that. And as far as they like him, probably not.
It's a flexible term.
Yeah.
I'll admit, Jerrod does like Sakata. I mean, out of all the group, he feels like Sakata is probably the closest to somebody he can actually commiserate with. You know, they're both. I think it's just because they both kind of had the same view on things. We're just out there to go ahead and kill shit at this point.
It's fighting. We've also time traveled together essentially. You 30 years, me 10 years.
Was it?
So.
I don't think it was quite 30.
It was a long time.
It was long, but not quite 30.
I remember it just being 30 because Tercion became old. He's not an old man, but he's
10 years.
Somewhere between 20, 30 years. Who's keeping count, really?
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
Tercion.
Things are better for 1,000.
Tercion, when you left Tercion, he was like a teenager.
Yeah, he was a young kid.
Yeah, and I imagine when he's now, he's like 30 something at the very, like 35 at least, kind of thing. But insignificant.
But no, would you say Sakata has turned out a lot like what you would wanted him to be when you first made him up?
Not really.
What major changes happened along the way?
The gaining a group part changes the mentality a lot. And very, very different. Like, I can't go to the bar and say, well, I'll catch you guys. I'm going to go do a job and I'll be back. Like, I have to work with a team dynamic, which is something.
He's no longer just like a sellsword.
He's not a loner.
Hero.
Yeah, basically. And he still slips in and out of that with things like talking about gold over the corpse of a kid. And not being too affected by it. But if that was someone, like, if that was anyone over the party and that was someone doing the same thing, he would probably get just as upset.
All right.
I think that leaves it with me.
How have we changed you, bub? Have we widened your holes?
You have taught me that there is no limit to the amount of failure.
We've taught you the term "how bad can it be" is like a universal challenge.
I didn't know that you could fail as much as you guys have, but I also didn't know that you guys could fail your way into success. So you guys have managed to show me that Quailman's right, failure is always an option, and somehow you have managed to fail your way into the next chapter each time. Because the story doesn't progress without you guys acting. It's not just one of those things where it's just going to happen just because, but there are certainly things that are happening behind the scenes. There are a lot of things that have happened, will happen, and is currently happening inside of Cauldron. Whether or not you know your way through. Whether or not you know what's happening. But there is still a lot for you guys to discover. This city still remains shackled. But now I'm not so sure if it's by someone working behind the scenes in the shadows, or if it's literally the Flurry themselves.
I feel like it's behind the walls of the
Jericho.
No. Not
go
the
with
walls of
Jericho.
Jericho.
I was gonna go with Charlie and Sasha.
It makes you half wonder if the Flurry had never showed up, if Cauldron would have been like, all right, we're going to get this done, and just would have fixed it.
No, I feel like the Kraken in the center of town would have eaten the town.
I don't
And it
know,
would have
man.
been
Every
said
so
and done.
often, I feel like they look at us and they're like, you know, we could have handled this on our own. Why'd you step in and just ruin this?
I mean, could they have?
Maybe with the help of the Stormcloaks. But from what I hear about the Stormcloaks, they're chalked up by the nobles but they're not actually that stupendous.
I mean,
they're highly geared out for an under-level party.
Well,
I don't
I'll
know.
say this.
But then again,
much.
we they don't know what we've done. We don't know what they've done. So we're all in the dark.
True.
And as
Well,
far as we're concerned, no news about them is technically good news for them because no one's talking about the shit that they're fucking up. Everyone's just talking about the shit that we're fucking.
It's just
essentially
because
what it
everything that
is.
you guys do literally shadows everything they do.
Yes.
In the
we,
wrong
we
ways.
go on blast.
Yeah.
We're
They
the
end up
Horam
saving.
here.
They end up saving a family of 5. We end up
Killing a family. of
blowing
10.
up a crater in the
Yeah.
city.
Killing like a small orphanage or like a chapel.
It's true.
I
It's
don't
true.
know. I'll say this much. We're finally at a point where I feel like we are getting motivated to do the right thing, to be more involved. I feel like we're starting to be this party is starting to be more heroic as we go along. But then I kind of look at all the stuff that we got on the wayside, and oh my god, we've got
Then
got so
we're
much
basically model citizens.
Well, no, we've got so much that we've got to do right now on our plate. Like, we can't put a pause on the riots and everything. We've got to get this done. But Jerrod so badly wants to go ahead and hit the Clockwork Citadel and see what investigators that's
And the
about.
Frost Giants.
He wants to take care of the Frost Giants. He just wants to kill them at this point. Just so it's
That's
one
DLC
less thing to
content.
worry about.
And Will's body.
I mean, we've got a lot we need to get covered, and I feel like we've got
And
a
the
lot of making up
vampire
to do.
children. And the lost orphan. It gets sadder and sadder the more you
Yeah.
think that we actually still have to get done.
Yeah.
I'm
Needless to say.
hoping that after the riots and everything, they get a bit of a breather and they can just like handle that shit. I can dream.
There's certainly a lot left to do in the city. And now that they need you the most, you guys are going to be leaving.
Yeah, we're saying peace, homies.
You
Later.
guys are literally
We don't want
going
you in Cauldron.
to the
okay?
city of Red Gorge. You're going to Red Gorge to discuss with some hidden elite group about the events that are transpiring in the town. Hey, Ronald, can you turn to push to talk, man?
Yeah.
Thank you. And, well, I don't really know the direction that you guys are going to take it. I don't know if you're going to choose the right thing, the wrong thing even. There's still so many options on the table. There's a lot for you guys to discover, and I really hope that we can figure it out. But that's for next week. That's for next week. 100 will be known as the recap session, the biggest recap session, and this will be VODed. Noted as 100 the recap. No, not 4 more hours of gameplay. Hell no.
It's actually 6 more hours.
Oh, okay. Then if we're talking about that, then maybe, just maybe.
Wait, is this our 24-hour?
No,
24 hours of Shackles?
no. We might try to do a 12-hour Shackled City when we get closer to the end, and I think we can wrap this up. Next week, though, guys. Next week will be episode 101 as we breach our way into some new numbers. We've added a new number to our track record, and I'm super, super happy, needless to say. How much money to get it to go 4 more hours? No.
Just per hour.
Just no, my friends. Not this time. But that's it, guys. That's all the time we have for today. That means that next week we will be kicking up again at the normal time. And since we've recapped, we're just gonna start. We're gonna start the session. We're not gonna recap next week. We're just gonna jump in, and we're gonna run with it. So, guys, let's go ahead and find someone to shoot some love over to.